What's something you should always keep in your car? Blanket. Toolkit, jumper cables. Good snow removing tool if it snows where you live, and de-icer. Am paranoid enough in the wintertime to always have boots, gloves, water and a blanket too. I live in a more urban area but frequently travel into the mountains for work. I throw in a gallon of water, a sleeping bag, and a change of clothes suitable for mountain weather. A firefighter friend has pulled a number of dead bodies out of car accidents where the accident only killed the car, the people froze to death. One that sticks out is a pair of college-aged girls heading up to meet friends at house in Tahoe. They drove up wearing bikini tops, in winter, and froze to death after sliding of the highway. I don't know if they had warmer clothes they just didn't change into or if a friend had their bags in a separate car, but he was pretty bummed out about that one. If those girls had a wool blanket, sleeping bags, or coats they'd have been cold, but alive. I imagine that would be one of the hardest things of being an emergency response, seeing all the deaths and injuries that could have been completely preventable with an easy fix. I live in a desert community near Death Valley. One summer maybe 10 years ago, a woman and her 11-year-old son were traveling the 30-mile stretch of desert between the main town and a smaller nearby town when her car died. There was and is still no cell service on that road and I guess no one stopped to help, so they ended up stranded. They were only stranded for a few hours, but it was 1:20 and they didn't have water. The son quickly succumbed to heat stroke and died. Ever since that happened, I have packed a day's supply of fresh water for each person in the car before any trip out of town. I have my normal emergency kit as well, but the water is something I have to be mindful of because I can't keep it stored in my car, especially in the summer months. No amount of technology or modern connectivity can replace good preparation for emergencies. I lived in a town just outside of Death Valley. It was summer and I was in a small shop in town when some European folks came in saying they were headed to Death Valley and were each buying a 16 ounces water bottle for the trip. Both the shop owner and myself told them please buy at least 3 gallons per person. They looked at us lean we were crazy. I don't think people from Europe especially appreciate the sheer amount of nothingness in the US. Yep. White Sands, New Mexico is an extremely easy hike across beautiful white sand dunes. You can even go barefoot as long as you're wearing a hat, but a European tourist or two has died from the heat almost every year since 2015. The rare deaths before that were also of people from other countries or regions of the US. Jumper cables. Flashlight. Water. This is excellent advice, it's even better if you combine it with a water bottle. Also blankets and non-perishable snacks will make a breakdown much more bearable. I keep my water loose in my trunk to save money. Phone charger. Dashcam. Front and back dashcam. More vehicles should come with built-in cameras as standard. I've seen a few posts of Teslas with their 360-degree camera coverage and it's absolutely incredible. Total peace of mind. Unless you're a terrible driver, I guess, then it'd suck. I don't get why insurance companies aren't adding incentives for having them. It saves their ass more than anyone else. Also yes. Car manufacturers should have them built into every new car. Backup cameras are already required. Wouldn't require much extra work to add a front camera and storage system for the data. BC they benefit more from denying insurance from questionable accidents than they would by clearing the accidents up. Again the answer to why isn't this quintessential common sense idea practiced? Is because money. Humans are the real Ferengi. Kleenex and paper towels. Never know when you might get the urge to jerk off. Those long drives can get pretty boring. Maintaining 120 km per hour through windy mountain roads, I couldn't maintain enough focus on the ASMR joy blasting through the stereo of my PT Cruiser to get over the edge. It was still white-knuckle driving, just not in the way I wanted. You sick duck. Why would you drive a PT Cruiser? The kind that tries to come on their own hands when doing a $120 through the mountains. So, me. I try to come on my own hands while doing a $120 through the mountains. Lots of people saying gas, they might mean in the tank, but do not keep it in your trunk, or boot, whatever. It degrades and evaporates in 3 to 6 months. Keep a gas canister with a little money inside, enough to fill it. I did the keep spare gas in trunk thing and my car ended up stinking of gas. And constant exposure to gasoline fumes causes cancer. I've been working as a gas attendant for 3 years now and I didn't need to read this frown update. I asked my boss about this and all the fumes are exhausted out from where the tanks are on the other end of the property away from everyone. Also, upon research, gasoline cannot harm you unless it is a highly concentrated amount, in which you will feel lightheaded and stuff. In short, I am safe. Smile. Money. I always keep a $20 bill hidden in my car in case I need to buy food, water, gas, pay a toll, etc. and don't have a debit card. I keep around $240, because you never know. A few years ago, the area I lived in lost power for an extended period of time. Gas was short, so even places with generators didn't have power. Places wouldn't take debit cards because there wasn't the capability. And ATMs were soon empty, and places ran out of small bills to give change when people showed up to buy goods. After that, I started putting all my singles and $5 bills into an envelope in my house at the end of each week. It is only about $300 as I don't use cash that often, so there are usually only a few bills to add to it each week, but I feel much better having it, because as you said, you just never know. A fire extinguisher. About 2 years ago I was in the car with my parents when all of a sudden the gears stopped responding and smoke starting coming out of the front and back. We parked on the side of the road, opened the front and a piece, I think it was the battery, was burning. It was only put out because a man who was passing by riding a motorcycle quickly stopped, took off his jacket, soaked it in water from a bottle that he had with him, and covered the fire with it. Turns out he was an ex-fireman. You probably shouldn't always count on being that lucky. You got really lucky. You're very unable to be able to put out a vehicle fire if your car catches on fire, and you're unlikely to really even be able to open the hood. Usually if a car lights on fire, it's gone. They are more useful if someone else has a crash and their car lights on fire. If you catch an accident right after it happens, you can potentially put out a fire caused by the accident. This allows correctly trained people to extract the occupants of the other car instead of dragging them out and possibly harming or killing them in the process. First aid kit, maps, and emergency supplies. A fire extinguisher. Do not keep condoms in your car. The latex breaks down under heat and are susceptible to breaking when you use them. Other condom facts in case anyone here actually had the opportunity to a condom. Keeping condoms in your wallet purse makes them degrade faster. Replace them every 3 months, I think. Lipsticks and balms can also make them less effective too. If your condoms are sitting in your wallet for more than 3 months without being used, then there's really no reason to keep them in your wallet. Lol. As someone who had the same one in my wallet for around 1.5 years, that hurts. I know that feel, bro. I've bought a box of condoms when I got a new girlfriend, and then watched them all hit their expiration date years later. I bought a 32 box when I entered my freshman year of high school. Just finished my bachelor's and it's still in the wrap. Oof. An escape tool. At least $50 in cash. I second this. You get one for fairly cheap, and the one I have also comes with a built-in seatbelt cutter at the bottom end. I hope I'm never in a situation where I need to use it, but knowing I have it in my car gives me some sort of tranquility. Lol. Fire extinguisher. This is true. In Chile it's the law that you have to have one. That's really thoughtful. This law is hella important. Shoes. You never know when you have to run. Once a lady rear-ended me on a 110F day, 43C, and her 2 kids, who were probably elementary school age, had no shoes whatsoever. Her car was full of airbag dust and broken glass, so I had to let them sit in my truck while she waited to get picked up. It was that or burning their feet on the boiling hot blacktop. You'll never know when you'll have to leave your car in a hurry. Emo, not only should you have shoes, they should be on your feet at all times while in the car. My dad didn't even let us wear flip-flops in the truck cause, as he said, if we get into an accident, and you have to quickly run away from the truck, looking for your flip-flops or running on debris are your only 2 options, and neither are good. Your dad has really made me re-evaluate my car flip-flops.